I created a flamethrower using Sentinel. In this video, I will show you her entire kit. This is Votive. Votive equips a candle device and places on the ground. Once placed, the candle remains invisible. Enemies won't immediately notice it as they move through the map. Only when they get close enough, the device becomes visible. And even then, it might already be too late. The candle has a trigger radius of 6 meters. The moment an enemy enters that radius, it can automatically activate. Or Votive can choose to activate it manually from anywhere. Now here's where things get interesting. The candle suddenly ignites and burns for 2 seconds. The reveal radius is 7 meters. An enemy standing inside that circle becomes revealed as long as they stay inside the range, which can be maximum 2 seconds. When the candle gets activated, it begins melting for 2 seconds. Wax speeds outward across the floor, just like how a real wax melts as the candle keeps burning. The wax creates a zone on the ground, and the size of it depends how long it melted, which can be maximum 2 seconds, and on max duration, the size of the zone is 5 meters. Anyone caught inside the zone moves through the area much slower, like a sage slower. The slow zone lasts another 2 seconds before disappearing, and if Votive wants to reposition her setup, she can simply recall the candle and place it somewhere else. The ability has one charge. If enemy is destroyed, Votive gets it back after a 30-second cooldown. Counterplay does exist though, because the candle can be spotted and destroyed at close range before activation. Even if you destroy the candle after it activates, both the reveal duration and the slowing zone size will be shorter. Votive equips a wax emitter and places it on a wall, like Deadlock's sonic sensor. The emitter itself is visible but vulnerable. If enemies find it before activation, they can destroy it. But if it survives, things get interesting. The moment Votive activates it, a wax barrier erupts horizontally across the battlefield. The wall stretches 10 meters. That's enough to cover a side entrance. The barrier also stands 1.5 meters tall. Players can't simply jump over it, and it blocks both movement and vision. But here's a twist. Unlike Sage Wall, it's not breakable, but bullets can still travel through it. The wax isn't completely solid. When bullets pass through, they lose their damage, like how it is when you shoot an enemy through a box. At the same time, those bullets physically damage the structure in a unique way. Every shot carves small openings into the wax. Keep shooting, the holes grow larger. Eventually, players can create an opening large enough to peek through, or even walk through. But there is another difference from Sage or Wise Wall. The boss gets emerged from the ground upward, but Votive's wall appears horizontally from any wall where she places the device, and anyone standing on the expanding range of the wall gets pushed by the wall. The wall remains active for 10 seconds. Now imagine how this works with Sanctum Candle. Attackers enter a choke point, the candle reveals them. The moment Votive sees the reveal, she activates Paraffin Barrier. Suddenly, a wall of wax expands across the entrance, and now they are forced to either wait or start shooting through the wall. Every bullet creates cracks, every bullet slowly opens a path, but that process takes time, and time is exactly what Sentinels want. The counterplay here is obvious: destroy the emitter before activation, or focus fire on the wall to create openings as quickly as possible. Votive equips a candle grenade. When thrown, it travels like a normal projectile. The moment it lands, it explodes into a burst of wax. But unlike most grenades, this one doesn't deal damage. Instead, the wax spreads all over your weapon. The explosion radius is 5.5 meters. Anyone caught inside the blast has their currently equipped firearm jammed. Holding a rifle, your primary weapon becomes disabled. Holding a pistol, your sidearm becomes disabled. Holding a knife, nothing happens. The unequipped weapons do not get affected. The jam lasts 3 seconds. Votive gets 2 charges of this ability. Now imagine attackers trying to break through Paraffin Barrier. They have finally created a large opening. The path is almost clear. Then Votive throws Candleburst directly through the hole. The grenade explodes. Every player holding a rifle suddenly loses access to it. The same players who were shooting the wall now can't continue shooting. The push stalls instantly. Attackers can counter this ability by anticipating the grenade, because players holding knives when the explosion happens aren't affected. Before we move on to the ultimate, don't forget to subscribe for more Valorant agent concepts. Also, you can join the channel and unlock many cool perks. Votive equips a massive radiant-powered Flamethrower, a weapon built around candle technology. The moment she activates the ultimate, the Flamethrower appears in her hands, and from that moment onward, enemies will run away from Votive. The Flamethrower projects fire in a line. Anyone caught inside takes continuous damage. The range extends up to 12 meters, but the damage changes depending on distance. Within 6 meters, enemies take 150 damage. It's a complete one-shot. Beyond 6 meters and up to 12 meters, the damage drops to 75 DPS. Still dangerous, but survivable if players react quickly. Since it takes time the flames to reach the maximum distance, you can actually dodge it if you see the flame coming towards you. The ultimate can remain equipped for a maximum of 20 seconds. However, fuel is limited. Holding down the trigger continuously consumes all fuel in roughly 10 seconds. This creates an interesting decision. Do you unleash everything immediately, or do you fire in short bursts to keep the ultimate active longer? While equipped, Votive moves slower. Now imagine the full combo. Sanctum Candle activates, enemies are revealed. Paraffin Barrier rises in front of them, Wax slows their movement. They start shooting holes into the wall. Candleburst jams their weapons. And just when the wall disappears and they think they have finally broken through, Votive steps forward, holding Cathedral Pyre. A wall of radiant flame erupts from the barrel. The choke point becomes an oven. The wax glows, the corridor lights up, and every second spent inside the flames becomes a dangerous mistake. So that's Votive. Would you want to see her added to the game? And which ability would be most frustrating to play against? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more and discover all my agent concepts in this playlist.